They go fast and turn left.
They're going fast and left!
That's the stereotype from all NASCAR, right? But there's a lot of strange moments that actually happen in NASCAR that you probably wouldn't think of. Just like when Matt Kenseth needed some water during a pit stop, and his pit crew member threw the water bottle in the window for him. But what happened next is something so unbelievable.
Matt Kenseth from 6th to 14th place on the pit stops for a rather unique problem.
Yeah, NASCAR gives an extra guy to service the driver here, and you can see right here he's giving Matt a bottle of some kind of fluid, whether it's water or Gatorade.
Look, man, you can't give me a water bottle until I throw the other one out. Threw the water bottle in and hit the ignition switch and shut it off. Don't have two left hands, they only have one. When you throw a freaking 40-ounce bottle of fluid at me, it bounces up and you hit the switch, it's not going to work.
Brad Keselowski's team and the 20 of Denny Hamlin. This is one of the reasons why, guys. This is May of last year.
Yeah, it's not the first time these two drivers have been together on the racetrack. And right here, another little fisticuff broke out at Charlotte after that.
Now, late in this race, this is what happened as the laps were closing down. The contact, Denny ends up into the wall.
Yeah, Brad thought he had a run and enough room on the inside, but Denny was just driving his car back to as they were trying to go around the lap car.
And then after the race, this was just comes to pit road just a few moments ago. And now let's check in with Jamie Little.
Imagine having a fight during a practice session. Well, this happened at Dover during the 2009 season in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. This fight consisted of Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, and crew members. Still to this day, this is one of the few fights that have ever taken place in the garage area during a practice session. Not unheard of, but definitely very strange. Also strange, just like when the pace car broke down during the Martinsville playoff race during the 2023 season. You'd never expect a pace car to break down, but it happened.
Looks like we might have an issue with our pace car.
Yeah, it's pulled up to the top of the racetrack, and now it's starting to move here. I'm not sure exactly what was going on. They were struggling to get the car to move. We have the cleanup truck pacing the front of the field, so we have that under control. Can they not just push it with another truck or?
It's a good-looking car.
We're going to put it on display.
Marty.
Rick, you got to love the Martinsville fans. They're literally in 1 and 2 cheering the tow truck about to tow the pace car. That's a new one, isn't it?
Yeah, it just pulls up to the top. I don't know.
And these drivers are they're trying to figure out what to do because they have to follow the pace car.
And Chase is like, I don't want to pass you, but man,
Right.
I don't think I'm allowed to stop right here.
Let's now talk about some strange races. Chicago. Both of these races have been completely strange, but I don't think one will be as wacky and crazy as the 2024 Chicago race. It saw rain delays, crashes, and a bunch of bizarre things with fans climbing the fence. It's just something you have to take a look at.
On the outside in the 23, just contact there from Bowman. Bubba kind of gassed it up. Ty Gibbs tiptoeing his way. This is the battle for third. Larson Zane's fifth. Oh, and Chase Briscoe. He'll nail the tire barrier in 6. Like 20, Bubba Wallace around in front of the field. He was inside the top 5 as everybody tries to come around him, kind of in a blind. Right up against the wall, and then Christopher Bell will angle his car in. Larson, oh, Larson's in hot. Oh, he'll go windshield deep. Kyle Larson locks it down and slams into the tire barrier while racing for second here in turn 6.
Very hard contact for Kyle Larson in turn 6. Caution has come out. He's trying to get unlocked from that tire barrier, but to no avail. Looked like he was going to shorten that car up as hard as he was going in there.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest hits we've seen in turn 6. Here, he's stuck. To leg it out over Joey Hand. Truex sideways, he gets into Bell. Hit by Hocevar. That may derail it for Bell. He continues on, but loses all that track position he had gained.
When you think of Texas Motor Speedway, I don't think you think of violent crashes, do you? No, there's no way you actually do. But in the truck series, during the 2017 season, there was a truck that went in the grass and ended up tearing his entire truck up, barrel rolling in the infield. It is something unbelievable that has ever happened at Texas Motor Speedway.
Oh, Briscoe gets loose. Austin Wayne Self around. Heavy contact with the 99 of Peters up and over.
Ben Rhodes able to get by. Timothy commits to the bottom. Austin Wayne comes down there. A wild ride for Timothy.
Yesterday was the first look at this track for most of these cars and drivers, not without incident. Michel Jourdain got a little behind in his steering, took the rear end off the car. Jamie McMurray ran wide of the final corner and tore the left side off his Dodge. Carl Edwards, chicane, wall. Very, very hard hit. He's in a backup car.
This is one of the weirdest fires that Alex Bowman has probably ever experienced. Back when he drove the 7 car for Tommy Baldwin Racing, at New Hampshire they ended up changing the tire on his race car and he took off as it was still on fire. Not sure if he was trying to put it out or what the plan was, but this is a very strange fire that ensued. Thankfully Alex Bowman was okay after this, but it was just very weird.
Debris on the racetrack and the flames rolling out from the right side of the 7 of Alex Bowman.
You know, we've seen this before at the short tracks. The 7 had an issue with the right front tire. It looked like he melted the bead, came down pit road, got a new tire on it, but didn't clear all the old rubber, I'm assuming, off. Well, no, I disagree.
Yeah, we're going to disagree. It is not out, and the driver's climbing out of the car. That's Alex Bowman jumping out of there.
I think he was telling him to get out.
This is by far the funniest thing that has ever happened in the NASCAR Truck Series, and nothing will ever convince me otherwise. Matt DiBenedetto and Austin Wayne's Self truck becomes attached, and they are not able to detach him until they get the safety crews over there for assistance. Ultimately, what had happened was DiBenedetto's and Austin Wayne's Self bumpers got pushed in together, and their roll bars somehow became locked together. This is still one of the funniest things to ever happen, and it was ironic because it was on the Bristol Dirt Race, and if that isn't strange enough, I don't know what is.
By a couple of lengths.
3 wide, 3 wide.
And look at changing lane. And Benedetto almost got into Logano and holding up Austin Wayne's Self. Meanwhile, Colby Howard in the 91 comes by.
Is he going to turn him?
They're stuck.
Tap the brakes, swerve it, bet you
They're
can.
literally stuck.
They are stuck together.
I've never seen that.
I don't think I've ever seen that either. Wow. They're just parked over there in turn 2 at this point.
And the caution is out.
Well,
just when you say I've seen it all, you see something new.
That's when the cookie sticks to the pan. And you're like, man, how'd this happen? About like 10 inches or so, and you can easily get apart. This is just like a perfect storm of what?
They've stopped all the trucks, red flag on track, and
no,
we're unable to get them apart. And there you see.
Has he got water pressure now? I don't know if he will.
One thing you might not see in today's NASCAR world now is crashes in qualifying. Back then when they had high horsepower, they used to be on the edge of out of control and crash in an instant. But one of the most oddest qualifying crashes that I've ever seen is Jimmy Johnson's at Phoenix during the 2015 season. Jimmy Johnson was rounding turns 1 and 2, and he had a malfunction in his steering which sent him hard into the outside wall. This has to be one of the biggest hits that Jimmy Johnson has ever taken in his career. It looked extremely painful.
20. Oh, trouble for the 48.
Oh my gosh.
Blew it right front, I think.
I think you're right.
Big hit.
Red flag.
Man, that thing just shot right.
The tire looked up to me. What was that? Something, maybe a suspension component or something broke in that right front.
I don't know. The tire looks.
No, the tire is down.
Is it down? It's soft. I think it's sitting on the splitter, and we can't see how.
Jimmy has radioed in. He's okay.
Going. And then just all at once.
What in the world? I just can't imagine what turned that thing straight in the wall. I mean, that was 3/4 of the way through the corner.
Wide open in the throttle right there. Back in the gas.
Now, after it took off, he locked the brake, locked up the left front all the way to the wall.
Watch this thing just all of a sudden. All of a sudden, she can
tell it's not really turning. Something's, yeah. I mean, to me, that's like something the steering broke.
Well, you know, but Jeff, if you watch the car, it got a little wee bit loose. You reckon that when he corrected, he just didn't have time to get it rolled up?
No, he could have still.
Late in these races, that's when the demons come out, and these guys get all jacked up, and the cautions happen.
Let's move a little bit further back because, and the caution has just come out. We're getting ready to talk about Kenny Wallace, who has fought his way back after getting turned in a flat tire to 10th. And the caution comes out with 23 laps to go. They say there is debris in the groove in turn 1, and there it is.
Piece of paper.
Oh, please don't tell me it's paper.
It's a piece of paper.
But
Look
see,
at it.
again, just like what happened to us at Charlotte, if it had a little shine to it, you look at it, how do you know?
One of the biggest changes and challenges in NASCAR recently is the remove of 5 lug nuts to 1. It has taught pit crew members for new techniques of how to change tires. But with these changes does come challenges. And Eric Jones had a big problem during the race when his lug nut got stuck and they couldn't get the wheel off. This happened at Kansas during the 2022 season, and it was painful to watch.
Trying to get the nut off, but these guys have been, you called it over-delivering. I cannot agree more. The job that Eric Jones and the 43 car have been doing, but unfortunate day here.
Now this I like. An air grinder to grind it down, and then a chisel to finish the job. That's how you're going to get that off there, and hopefully
what are you going to do with the threads?
Yes, enough that you can't get another nut on. Eric Jones came in here 5 points below the cut line for making the playoffs in 18th place. There's the air gun and socket for when things work right. The road stays closed. Just think of the leaders that have had problems today. Christopher Bell lost a tire. Kyle Busch had a slow stop when he was the leader. Chase Elliott beat everybody off pit road but had an equipment penalty. And William Byron was leading when a tire went down.
It's just become like a day of survival. Not only on the track, but also on pit road for all those guys.
A lug wrench. It was actually broke right there.
This is like a semi truck.
That's exactly what I said. He called it a Porsche option. That is a Peterbilt option is what that is. For sure. But he's trying to, I think they're trying to actually cut that stud off.
Look at that.
Well, this 43 team is going to get the biggest attaboy if they can get a tire on that car and get him back on the victory track. You're
that
right.
is tight. Hey,
that's truck.
That is tight.
That's truck stop torture right there.
You know how frustrating it is for Eric Jones sitting in the car. Like, what is going on? And at this point, it's probably become comical to Eric. Like, you're sitting in there, you're like,
all right, that right there, that's a 3/4 drive. I believe that is the biggest breaker bar you can buy.
I don't know, Mike. Amazon's got a lot of breaker
I can tell you, with that guy holding on to it, it's the most efficient tool they have. Yep. That's a big old boy that was using that. This cutoff wheel, I've never seen one of those before. I'm headed to the general store on Monday morning, and I'm buying one of them.
One of the most strangest and unusual crashes I've seen in a long time is when the Toyotas imploded at Talladega. They were on an entirely different strategy, and everything happened so fast, they just all ended up crashed, and it was just unbelievable to see this happen, as they were probably on the winning strategy up until this point. Apparently, the greatest driver in the world does know how to hit his brakes. This is the accident that occurred during the 2022 Indianapolis road course race. Kyle Larson either lost brakes or didn't even try to hit the brakes and slammed into Ty Dillon over 150 miles per hour. Thankfully, both drivers were okay, but this is one of the most strangest crashes I've ever seen on a road course. It's not even like Larson even tried to stop.
Wanted to figure out what went wrong there. Let's take a look.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and I'm sure Kyle was coming over to apologize.
Some sort of mechanical issue on the 5 car for him. Look at that. He is flying when he comes in there.
So I heard him say, wow. I have a pedal, which looking back now, maybe he didn't have brakes, and now he does have brakes. That's the one thing that seems to make sense. And to your point, that is why he went over to talk to Ty Dillon.
I'd say we're lucky that wasn't worse than it was. I mean,
that was huge.
I agree, Jeff. That's a big impact. Oh my goodness. Gosh.
I mean, the speeds that they're getting going into turn 1.